welcome back to Out of Your Mind podcast. I'm Cassandra, the creator of Metal Bones Jewellery, and I will be your host today. And today we're talking about the whole social media numbers game, the obsession with growing your following, and why it's distracting you from what actually matters. If you've been feeling stuck or like you're not big enough to make any sales yet, then this one is for you. So let's dive in. This podcast is a little bit late, but it's better than never. Okay, so today I really just wanted to talk about this obsession with growing online. Growing your Instagram, growing your audience, growing here, growing there. It's all this shit, okay? Because at the end of the day, you can grow your business to 1 million followers, but if you're not selling to them, what's the point? Because people get caught up in this idea on how to grow their Instagram and their social media, but it's not the real problem. Like, there are so many businesses out there that thrive and run successfully without being present online at all. For example, Freeman Wax. So the wax company that I use to make my jewelry, their last Instagram post was like 2018 or something. So it's not, I think people forget that in order to succeed in business, you can do that without having a strong influence online. So of course, growing on Instagram or social media is an art. It's hard. It can be taught, but it's also not as important as what people make it out to be. The most important thing is like learning how to connect with your audience. So the people who are already there, the people who are already cheering you on, already supporting you, already giving you their time and attention, and you're just sitting there going, not enough, I need more. And then you try to get to your first 10,000 followers, but then now you suddenly want 20,000 and then 30,000 and then 40,000 and then 100,000, and it just keeps going. Like, it's never enough. And before you know it, you've completely lost sight of what actually matters, which is you, your business, and your audience who have already proven that they love you and love what you do. So before you get caught up in someone else's obsession with growing online, yes, it's an important part of growing and making sales. I get it. It is critical to get seen and to expand and to give yourself like the best chance of selling. But when your whole strategy is based on chance, it's not going to get you far. So if you're going, oh, look, I've got 100,000 followers, the odds of, 50 people buying from me is pretty high because, the odds are there. But that's not a strategy. That's just putting your rod, you're casting a line out into the ocean and just hoping for a bite. That's not really smart, I don't think. So I just wanted to come in and help shift your perspective a bit. Maybe you've got 200 followers on Instagram. That's a lot of people. Like, seriously, like 200 people who are interested in what you are doing is massive. And now let's say only half of them were interested in buying. Okay, so that's still 100 people. Now let's say you sell a piece of your jewelry, for $250. Now every one of those people, like that group of 100 people, they buy from you. That's $25,000 worth of sales. If you can connect with them, if you can connect with the people who are already watching what you're doing. So that's the part that people miss. They're like, they're stuck thinking going, oh, I need more, because they believe a big following is big money. But it's just not true. So the takeaway here is, if you're looking at your audience thinking it's not enough, then you're looking at it wrong. These people are giving you their attention. They're interested. They followed you. They've shown that they liked what you do. Now it's your turn to meet them. Like, it's to actually offer them something, show up for them. That's where the fair exchange happens. Now, when you ignore those people because you're too focused on growing and views, you're paying more attention to the wrong numbers, the number of followers is not the key metric. The number of sales is. So you can make sales with a small following. I've bought from people with tiny followings because I liked their work. I didn't care how many followers they had, how many views they had. And, yes, of course, a big number can create a level of trust. That's valid. But it's not the be all end all. Okay. So stop obsessing over the numbers. You can't control it. You can use it as a metric, sure. But if you post something and your following starts to drop, you can take that as feedback. Don't make growth the goal, because it'll never be enough. You're not going to get to 10,000 followers and go, oh, perfect, I can relax now. Like, it's just not going to happen like that. So that's why I wanted to get this off my chest today. I've been seeing it everywhere. People chasing followers, people selling courses on how to grow your Instagram. Look, I do love the idea of growing your Instagram and growing your business. It's an awesome opportunity, but do not get it twisted. It's not the end game. It's not it. Okay, so people keep messaging me. I get messages every single day. How did you grow your Instagram? How did you get views? But that was never the goal. Like, my goal was to make sales. My goal was to sell what I made because I love doing what I would do. Like, I love to make jewelry. And to do that, I had to make videos. So that's just a part of how I got there. I wasn't sitting there thinking, how do I get views? How do I get views? I need more followers. Like, it was a byproduct. Okay, so don't get caught up in these vanity metrics. Like, if that's what you want to do, cool. That's a different ball game. But for the people who work with me, for the people who really want to do this, full time or part time and still make a profit, stop focusing on the follower count for now, okay? Because that's not the goal. The goal is sales, the goal is connection, and the goal is running your business. Once you have sales down, once you have the connection down, then you can look at growing and expanding. But really what you need to think of is, if you have a small audience, if you have 500 people, none of them are buying, why do you think 10,000 are going to buy from you? There's no strategy in having a big following. That doesn't make sales. So if you can't sell to 500 people, you won't be able to sell to 500,000 people, and that is guaranteed. So before you go out and buy a course on how to grow online and how to grow your social media account, look at what you're doing to make sales, because that is where your attention needs to go first. I hope you found this helpful, and I will see you next. Actually, I will be making another video this week because I forgot to post one last week because the world has been chaotic and it just hasn't been a very nice time for anyone, obviously. And I just didn't really feel like doing a podcast. But anyway, I hope you found this helpful, and I will see you soon.